We just finished the first ever Southeast Asian Families Conference, Bridging Research and Practice in Philadelphia. We were able to bring together over 100 community advocates, organizers, researchers, service providers who are of the Southeast Asian community and work within the Southeast Asian community and are allied to it.
I like to think of this as a really great opportunity that we as community and researchers can work together through community-based research methods to come up with the questions. What are the questions that we need to know to improve our situation?
We know that there's been an enormous growth in the Asian population in Philadelphia, and those of you who are census buffs like myself know that this is one reason that the population of Philadelphia actually increased between 2000 and 2010 was because of an increase in minority populations. And that is actually different from most major metropolitan areas.
It's so important as we are doing research to include communities and to engage communities in the process so that we're asking questions that are salient and important and that can make a difference down the line. And when we talk about our communities and we talk about the health, it's important to think about the disparities that we face, but also to think about where the strengths are.
All right, so the reasons why it's important to break disaggregate the data, it breaks the model minority myth. Because once we have data, as you guys know, they'll start revealing statistics that show and expose what is real true. We're not all selling, we all do not have high household income, we all do not speak the same language. A lot of times, the teens are upset because they just think we speak Chinese,
The purpose of the event was to take a first step towards building a network of advocates and experts to build relationships, and also was to share knowledge, information, statistics, so that we can share best practices, have better programs that are more linked both to our families, to the needs of our communities, and also linked to advocating for policy changes that would actually have positive consequences for our communities.
Because we're an advocacy organization, we can't leave a conversation without the recommendations. And I think largely on this issue, we need to continue educating our communities, not just our communities, but the broader community, and how we can better collaborate on these issues. Clearly, it's not just an immigration issue. There's social justice issues and criminal justice type of issues that are also involved in here.
There's actually research that's been done that shows when youth have a social political analysis of what's happening around them, it gives them a sense of confidence and agency, and it brings them out of this space of hopelessness and helplessness. And so I think if we say, as we always do, that our future lies in the next generation, it's really up to us to educate our young people also about the larger picture, about basically the dynamics of the society they live in.
Really making contact and asking people to get out there and vote really does have an impact on getting people to vote. And so we feel like this is one of the more critical pieces of the work that we do.
For a lot of our work, we've also been talking about these are the challenges, they should not be overlooked, but these are the assets and the contributions that they can have. You can actually have many of them engage in voting, many people coming to town halls, many people volunteering, but you have to create systems and tools that allow them to do so.
And so I think that the panelists talked about an array of tools stemming from, ranging from participatory research to education, legal action, either creating new laws or calling for an enforcement of existing laws.
One thing that was really significant was that in one day we covered such a breadth of information, a breadth of topics. We covered issues facing the Southeast Asian community that went from education to immigration to violence to health, and to topics specific to how we understand and conceive of Southeast Asian families integrating and acculturating to the United States.
Family members were being deported, and I didn't understand the situation. Me growing up here since I was 1 year old, I always thought I was American. I always thought I was, I belong here. This is my country. This is my city. So to see the people that I grew up with since we were small to be deported away from their family, it really hit home, and we got to do something about this, you know?
I myself, I was born in a refugee camp as well, Chonburi, Thailand. I came here when I was about 2 months, so I don't have any memories of Cambodia.
When you talk about Southeast Asians in America, it is a refugee population, and you have to consider many issues with that. You have to consider a lifespan, right, which is coming here, being resettled in the United States, the resettlement process, to think about education, language access, healthcare.
This is a growing and very real problem in our communities, but has remained under the radar screen. I started working on this issue in 1999, rescuing 250 Vietnamese and 30 Chinese from mainland China in American Samoa, in a case that has become and has remained to be the largest labor trafficking case ever prosecuted by the U.S. government.
I think what we achieved was very significant. I think the fact that we could bring over 100 practitioners and community advocates and organizers to Philadelphia, I think is a big step. And what I hope to see in the future is that we take the relationships that were built from this gathering space and that we continue to build them across our communities, across the Vietnamese, the Cambodian, the Laotian, the Hmong communities that do exist in Philadelphia and South Jersey, so that we can begin to rebuild our communities, not only from within them, but together between communities. It's the only way that we're going to have any power in the city, in the state, and also in this country.